Hello. Sorry, I have to talk kind of quietly because I have housemates and it's late and I don't have my little speaker microphone headset thing handy. Um, anyway, I just wanted to talk briefly about. I already did a recent video about experts and how like people should not be putting blind faith in quote unquote experts. Um, anyway, I just wanted to say like I see so many people when they're talking about COVID or they're talking about vaccines or whatever that they always say like, I'm not a doctor, so I can't like really comment or I'm not, and there might be some legal thing like if you're not a doctor you're not allowed to like give medical advice or something like that. But I mean, if people really believe that though, that like only doctors are capable of giving medical advice, that's of giving good medical advice, then that's pretty sad because obviously that's not true, like a lot of doctors give terrible medical advice, and there are a lot of people who are not doctors who give good medical advice. That's a fact. It's like, I feel like these are the facts that break people's brains because it's just such a fundamental religion in our society that, you know, maybe that is the new religion, instead of worshiping gods and stuff, like people worship experts, quote unquote, and they, worship whatever the TV tells them to worship. But but yeah, like a lot of people, even who are pretty much legit and right on in a lot of their takes regarding this stuff, they still seem to think that that's a thing. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know. But a lot of the data that um, that's under discussion, like it's publicly available, and it's not it's not something that you need to 4 years of medical school to understand. A lot of it is very straightforward, and you're either like most doctors and you just ignore the facts because you don't want to lose your license or etc. um or you I mean, anybody who's literate can basically determine a lot of the facts in this, as with a lot of medical, issues. Like a lot of people have found out that they do better just Googling their, ailments than going into the hospital because, doctors, yeah, they went to medical school, they learned a bunch of stuff there. They probably forgot a bunch of it, and also a lot of what they learned was probably already outdated when they learned it and is even more outdated now. And it didn't entail like all the, things that have developed since they graduated, some of which probably disproved things that they were taught. Um, so like I understand like if all you've seen is like doctors in movies and TV shows and you know maybe in Sanjay Gupta on CNN or something, you might think like, yeah, doctors like are the only ones capable of giving good medical advice. But if you've actually lived in the world for like 5 minutes, you should know that that's not the case. That a lot of doctors give terrible medical advice, A lot of doctors are wrong in ways that are mind-bogglingly stupid, and a lot of people like me who barely, graduated high school. I mean, not really necessarily because it was difficult, but just because I just didn't care about school. Um, I'm able to analyze a lot of data, and I could give much better medical advice on a lot of uh, topics than thousands of doctors. I mean, there are doctors who are honest, but they're a lot of them are laying low right now because they don't want to lose their license, and they don't want to, Robert Malone, the guy who, well, apparently he helped develop mRNA uh, medical technology, and now he's, just because he hasn't completely towed the line on the mainstream narrative, he's now blocked from the New England Journal of Medicine. Like, they blocked his IP address. So, but he's one of the relatively brave ones, and most of the doctors are just laying low and keeping their mouths shut at best, and at worst, they're just going along with you know, uh, whatever they're told to do and told to say. And so, yeah, if you think that there couldn't be a person who's not a doctor who could give you better medical advice than somebody who is a doctor, like, I just don't know. There's probably no reasoning with you. But just think about it, I guess, is all I would say. Like, just because everybody says that, oh no, like, if you're not a doctor, you can't. No, it's fucking dumb. Like, if you think about reality and how many doctors have said how many stupid things and done how many stupid things, like amputated the wrong limb off of people and stuff. Like, I've never done that. So I think I would be better for your health. I mean, I'm not giving medical advice on this video, but I think I should have the right, anybody should have the right to give medical advice just as much as any doctor. Because, I mean, the doctors have shown that most of them are cowards at best. Um, that's just a fact. Otherwise, they would be out, raising hell with all this bullshit going on. But so yeah, just this is goes to the heart of this kind of like worship of experts, and this idea that there's some class of experts that knows what is legit and honest and knows what they're talking about, and it's just not the case. Like, there are some doctors who are legit and do know what they're talking about, and there's a lot that are not and who don't. And that goes the same for people who are not doctors, but who read about medicine and observe and come up with their own conclusions. They can be wrong and they can be right. It has nothing to do really with whether they're a doctor or not. So, like, I study archaeology on the internet, and I know that I've found a lot of facts that are denied by the mainstream, like, majority of academia and, like, professors and whatever. So, like, like, this idea, like, you have to be professional and you have to have like something that says you're an official, like this or that, to be able to speak with any authority on it, is it's just total nonsense stuff and rubbish, I tell you. Anyway, you can see my skin is getting messed up. I have like seborrhea. See if I can get new medication and stuff. I gotta call the place and everything. All right, so yeah, it's like honestly, some random person on YouTube might give you much better medical advice than like, the president of Harvard Medical School or your own doctor or certainly Dr. Fauci. Like that guy gives terrible advice. I guess I'm flirting with disaster. They might call this like medical misinformation just because I criticized Dr. Fauci or something and then ban me for life. But I don't know. I feel like if they're going to be that oversensitive, then they're pretty much going to do it regardless. But who knows? All right. Take care and solidarity.